Welcome back to another character profile. This time, we are going to be talking about Kazuki Muto, the protagonist. The protagonist of Buso Renkin. Now, Kazuki Muto isn't your typical protagonist. He is part of a group of protagonists I like to call dies at the start of their story. Others that also fall in this category are Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho, as well as Tota Kano from Yuku Holder. Now, are there others that are like this as well? Possibly. I just can't think of them. Those were the first two that came to mind, and yeah. Now, usually when characters die at the start of their story, it's because it's the life after where their adventure really begins. No, with Yusuke Urameshi, him dying essentially led him to becoming the spirit detective for Koenma. With Tota Kano, him dying led to him becoming part of the vampiric bloodline that Evangeline McDowell is a part of. And with Kazuki Muto, him dying is the event that leads him to becoming one of the greatest alchemist warriors, as well as the Kakugani users in the story. Now, the thing with Kazuki Muto is that the story isn't actually centered around him. It's also centered around another character, the protagonist, by the name of Tokiko. I kind of forgot her last name, just being honest here. And to really get a good sense of Kazuki Muto's character, you have to also pay attention to the way Tokiko acts around him, and also when he's not around as well. Now, Kazuki Muto, I'm sorry, calling him Muto for short, because I'm not going to keep on saying his full name each single time I'm talking about this dude. At the start of the story, you can tell that Muto has really no tactic to how he fights. He just basically plunges. That's all he does. And this is shown in the first arc, as well as the first major battle that he has against. I'd say the first major battle of the arc would be against Washio, because Washio is like the pinnacle of the animalistic looking homunculi. But first, after that, then you have his fight against Papillon, which is probably where the series changes its tipping point, basically. Because after that, we get introduced to Captain Bravo, introduced to the League of Extraordinary Elect, as well as the Alchemist Army. And through his training with Captain Bravo, Muto starts putting in more tactics. He starts thinking of different ways of utilizing his Kakugani called Sunlight Heart. And you can really see the progression of how he fights from the first arc all the way until the end of the story itself. Now let's talk about Muto in reflection of other characters, okay? First him in reflection to the protagonist Tokiko. Now, at first, these two, it's more or less like he's just trying to pay her back for his life that was saved. That's what it is at first. But then it goes from there to the two becoming colleagues of battle. I'm pretty sure comrades. There you go. Comrades in battle. There you go. I was trying to think of the correct way of saying that. I think I got it. I'm still not 100% sure if I got that correctly or not. But yeah, whatever. Going from that, and their friendship blooms even more so. Then you have it to where it goes from that to the two of them showing that they actually have deep feelings for each other. And yeah, granted, their confession or whatever happens around the end of the story, but at least there's some stuff after that to where you can kind of get a feel of what the relationship is like between the two. We're not just suddenly at the very end just thrown with, oh yeah, boom, they like each other. The end, bye, like a lot of other series love to do. I'm glad that Nobuhiro Watzuki decided not to do that. But I always wonder, how would the story be if the series never got canceled in Weekly Shonen Jump? Would he have explored the dynamics of an actual romantic relationship between Tokiko and Muto? Would that have happened? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. Another character to compare him to would be Papillon. Papillon is a very selfish person. Because his mindset's more of like the world owes me everything. While Kazuki Muto's mindset is he is very selfless. Hell, even when he's told to actually act for himself, he still can't do that. He acts for the benefit of others. Like, there's a reason why his Kakogane is a spear and it's called Sunlight Heart. It's because his friendliness shines like the brightness of the sun, and like a spear, how a spear kind of just goes forward, penetrating through. Essentially, Muto is... This doesn't sound stupid and corny, but I'm just going to say it anyways. It probably sounds cheesy as well, whatever. But essentially, Muto is taking the spear and penetrating into the problems that he sees that others have. My God, I don't know why that was so hard for me to fucking say. Then, let's compare him also to Captain Bravo, where Captain Bravo is all about justice, but he's really only about justice in the eyes of the Alchemist army, where Muto is about justice as well, but about what he feels is justice. And that will not be deterred no matter whom he is fighting for or against. Which I like, because, sometimes there might be people, in the group that you're working with that may not be good people. And there might be people that you're working against or fighting against that may not actually be bad people either. It could be either or in this situation. And then you got Victor. I'd say you call him the main adversary of the story. The enemy of alchemy in its total. Well, actually, he made alchemy his enemy, basically. And the thing is with that is that while in a sense, okay, Victor really didn't care for alchemy anymore, Muto had so much trust in even his in his rival, being Papillon, to create a cure that he took the fight with Victor to the moon, a place void of any kind of life. That way the two of them could just battle it out until the end of time, essentially. Which goes right there. Once again, he was thinking more so about the benefit of others than actually his own self. But how does Kazuki Muto differ from Kenshin Himura from Rurouni Kenshin? Now, I'll be honest with you. It's been a while since I've read Rurouni Kenshin or even watched the anime. Although reading the manga is actually the better alternative of the two. Yeah, argue with me that if you will. I know I'm right about this. Kenshin, his story was pretty much a story of redemption. Of trying to find himself in the current world and hoping that the past doesn't come back to bite him, which it did numerous times for numerous reasons. Kazuki Muto's story is a story of being an excellent civil servant. And this all starts when he gets his heart pierced. And then Tokiko gives him the Kakogane that basically revives him. And thus he becomes well, I'd say civil servant only because everything he does is for somebody else. Or it's never like he sought out the Alchemist Army was like, hey, I want to be Alchemist Warrior. He never fucking knew that even existed until that fateful night. And the truth of the matter is, both of these main characters, or protagonists, there really isn't a similarity between the two, but there's a lot of difference between the two as well. The one similarity both of them do have is that if you fuck with their women, they're gonna fuck you up. Also, their allies are very unique and can and will consist of former enemies as well. And I will say, for the short period of time that Buso Renkin was written, which 10 volumes, that means that it was probably in publication for at least maybe 3 to 4 years, because I'm going by how really about 3 to 4 volumes are released per year when it comes to shonen volumes. But then again, it could also have been maybe 2 years in publication, because sometimes what will happen, the first 2 volumes would be released like at once. I see this happening a lot currently with newer series, where they'll release volumes 1 and 2, boom, right out the gate. But then it'll be like about 4 months later, volume 3 will come out, and yada yada yada, you know? But anyways, in that short amount of time, he did exceptionally well with portraying Muto's naivety at the start, but then slowly but surely having him become an excellent fighter, an excellent soldier, and always sticking to his guns, always sticking to his own sense of justice. And that is the bit of a difference, I would say, between Muto and Himura. It seems to me like Himura really wanted to forget about everything that happened in his past, that he literally just took the rear view mirror and just ripped that shit right the fuck off, and was like, you know what, I'm just going to look forward and act like it's not like he acted like the past never happened, but he just knew that that just wasn't the life he wanted anymore. He wanted a new start, But that's the fucked up thing about life. Life doesn't give you a new start. No, life will remind you of the fuck ups that you have done and the consequences that come with it. And we also do see this in Buso Renkin, because there was a consequence of Kazuki coming back to life. That consequence was him being turned into a victor, of him becoming a being that drains the life force of everything and anything that happens to be around him. Alright, so I think that's it when it comes to talking about Kazuki Muto. Actually, before I go, I want to do something that Medi Not the Bad Guy does in his character profile videos, and that is discuss about the kanjis in the names of the characters. Now, Kazuki Muto, Kazuki, is written in katakana, which is a form of alphabet that is used mainly for just stuff that sounds foreign, basically, or that has no like Japanese connotation to it. Now, there are two kanji characters for Muto, Mu and To. And so here you have it right there. That is the character for Mu. Now, what says some of its definitions, okay? Military or martial, which fits his character very well, because essentially he becomes a foot soldier in a type of military. All right, so there's that. Then we got To, which is this. And when I entered that into Google search, what I got up from that at first was an entire article about Wisteria. And I'm like, wait, why is this telling me Wisteria? But then to think about it, okay, in a sense, Kazuki, when he was revived, it's like he blossomed forth, you know, and plus, sunlight is what gives plants their nutrients, their energy, basically. And he, not only is he, in a weird way, it's like he's the sun and he's the plant at the same time. He gives himself energy, you know? But the actual reading for this is Japanese wisteria trees, but from older kanji, whatever. Now this is kind of interesting, but at the same time, it's also a little confusing too. You know, wisteria, like I was just talking about, or short for Fujiiro, a light lavender color, a type of Kasane no Irome, with the front a light purple and the back blue, which that actually makes sense because of his uniform. I believe I think there's purple in there, or maybe I'm just making shit up in my head. That could be it too. Also, it says card games, a suit of Japanese wisteria in a Hanafuda deck representing the month of April. I wonder if Kazuki was born in April. But then again, April is also a month in spring, which goes again with the total aesthetic of Sunlight Heart. So, boom, there you go. Alright, so what do you guys think of this character profile being of Kazuki Muto from Buso Renkin? Let me know, comments down below. And once again, do you want to see more Buso Renkin, or should I switch this up and talk about a character from Dorohedoro? let me know in the comments down below. And also what you thought of the video and the character Kazuki Muto as well. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. That way the algorithm will know that my content is worth watching. As well as to hit that notification icon. Make sure that bell is a ring-a-ding-dinging. And if you want to, share it with your friends, share it with your family. You know, maybe there's something in the video you're like, oh, I didn't know this. This sounds really informative. I'll share it with some people and maybe they'll be informed too. Or, huh, this guy's kind of weird looking. Noah's laughing at him. Ha 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 ha. Anyways, I digress. Okay, y'all have a good night. Bye.